Hi, I'm Mike, along with my son Matthew, and welcome to LugNuts Garage. I want to talk a little bit about how we got started. About 3 years ago, my lovely son here decided that it was time to fix up an old truck that we had laying around the garage. It's a 99 Dodge Ram. It's a dually with a 5.9 Cummins in it, and it had seen better days, huh?
Yeah.
She had a lot of rust, a lot of dents, largely due to me and the fact that we live in Minnesota. Minnesota was not kind to it. So we started buying some fenders, and it evolved into essentially taking the whole truck apart. And Matthew, what are some of your best memories of that? Our worst, I guess.
And you came home one day and you hit a tree.
Yeah,
That's what started it all.
I kind of hit a tree and destroyed the front fender a lot, and then ripped a lot of the fiberglass off that we had. We had fiberglass flares and running boards, and so that evolved into that. So we bought new fenders. This thing needed rockers. We pulled the dualies off, had holes you could throw a dog through. A lot of surprises, right? A lot of surprises. So, at the end of the day, this turned into just an awesome time together for me and my son to work together and connect on working on things. And it spawned a lot of passion that I haven't had for a long time. My background is I was a mechanic for most of my life, and I own a custom Harley shop. Missed fabrication, missed working with my hands, and Matthew helped bring that back out. All right, so our goal was to make it to the Mopar Nationals in Ohio. Now, along the way, we had been buying up some cars. I'm an old Mopar guy. I love old Mopar, so we bought, our first one was a 70 Roadrunner. It's a green one. So we started with that. Along the way, we found a 68 Charger RT out in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Now, our goal was to get the truck back together and make it to the Mopar Nationals in Ohio, but first head out to Carlisle and pick up this car. We had a few troubles along the way, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
What was our first one, you remember?
The electrical before you even left?
Yeah, so just getting out of Minnesota turned into a challenge. Long story short, we had put the sill plates back on, ran a screw in, hadn't moved anything, and spent 8 hours chasing a wiring problem that just turned out to be a screw. I think we made it to Little Falls, Wisconsin. Slept in a truck stop that night, right?
Something like that. I think,
Yeah, we woke up in the truck stop and the truck wouldn't start. Just a lot of stories along the way, but we had a lot of breakdowns, but it was a really fun trip, right?
Yeah.
And then we made a good friend out in Carlisle, Roger.
Yep.
Yep. So the gentleman that we bought the 68 Charger RT happened to work at a shop as well, and we had never met this guy before. Just an awesome guy. And the truck broke down just as we pulled into Carlisle and asked him to come guide us to where the car was. Well, it turns out he worked at a shop, and the guys came and fixed the truck. Again, Minnesota rust. The return line had rusted. All right, so we finally were able to leave Carlisle and head out to the Nationals, and we finally got there, but we didn't make it to the last day, right?
No.
Yeah, and we had to rent a golf cart and
Oh, yeah, drive around the show.
drive around the show. We rented a golf cart. It was nice. It's a huge show. If you've never been to the Nationals, it's a monster show. But what's really cool is it's at a drag strip, and a lot of vendors there. But the swap meet was so huge, and we had so many things we wanted to see and round up. We had to rent a golf cart. Matthew hated driving, of course, so it was a lot of fun. So we finally made it there. That was our goal, and it was a phenomenal, phenomenal time. So just to cap this whole trip off to picking up our 68 Charger RT and heading to the Mopar Nationals, we didn't necessarily finish the trip on a awesome note. What was our last event to happen along the way?
Yeah, I looked in the mirror of the trailer and the roof of the trailer was falling off.
Yeah, the roof had actually started rolling up like a sardine can. I had bought a used enclosed trailer that had evidently been hit, and along the way, the roof decided to give way and literally rolled up like a sardine can. So that was our trip to Carlisle, Pennsylvania to pick up our car and finally make it to the Mopar Nationals. But it was an awesome trip, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit about my background. I spent most of my life as a mechanic in some way, shape, or form, from cars to boats, you name it, small engines. Along the way, got a passion for motorcycles and owned a custom Harley shop for many years. Built a lot of bikes, did a lot of fabrication, and I just missed doing that. And Matthew was responsible for really bringing that back out into me, and working on this truck of ours is what kind of brought that out. And it's just an awesome thing for us to do together. We get time together, and he's been working with his hands as long as he's been old enough to hold a wrench. So it's like having two of me now. So, and he does a great job. So Matthew, what do you think your best memory of that summer is?
Deciding to put twin turbos on the truck.
So tell us a little bit about your idea that took place when we went out to Carlisle and saw that shop. After we left that shop, well, what did you want to do?
Make the truck go faster.
Yeah. And what did we end up doing?
Twin turbos,
Yeah.
big injectors, tranny.
So yeah, this turned into, hey Dad, it'd be great if we put a bigger turbo on, to, hey Dad, let's put twin turbos on. And as you all know, that evolves into many other things. So yeah, we now have twin turbos, all of the goodies, fast fuel system, tons of money into the tranny, because as you all know, that's the weakest part of any Dodge. And it's just an ongoing project for us. So our goal is to get this thing a little bit closer to done. We're almost there, and then we're ready to start on our first project, which is a 70 Roadrunner. So Matthew, you've already have a truck. Tell us a little bit about that.
2001 Dodge 1500.
And what do you want to do with that thing?
Put a diesel in it.
My son has diesel in his veins, I think. So yeah, he's got a 2001.
Yep.
It's silver. It's a half ton. Came from Texas. Very clean truck. His late stepfather left it to him, and we're gonna fix that up before he's ready to drive. So, as I mentioned, we took that summer off, and along the way, I decided, it's really time for me to move my business into a studio. I had opted to stay home during the majority of my not so little man's life, and he's actually taller than me now. To be the stay-at-home dad, and we officed out of the house, but it was time to move into a studio, so we kept looking for a spot, found a location that would work out great to have a shop and a studio. So I run my agency out of one half and LugNuts Garage out of the other. And again, LugNuts is a father-son team. It's a little shop with a lot of heart.